Have you ever felt like you're lost in a confusing world of relationships, not knowing who truly cares about you? It's like standing at a crossroads, not sure which way to go to find real connections. But don't worry, you're not alone. We all face this challenge of figuring out who's genuine and who's just pretending. In this journey, we'll explore 20 signs that someone might be using your kindness. These signs aren't random guesses. They come from understanding how people behave and feel. From spotting manipulation tricks to knowing when someone's intentions aren't sincere. These insights will help you see through the complexities of human interactions. But why does this matter? Because you deserve relationships that make you feel good, ones that lift you up and support you. It's not just about avoiding people who take advantage of you. It's about building connections that make your life better. So are you ready to learn how to navigate relationships with confidence and clarity? Let's dive into this journey together, armed with knowledge to help you find the connections you truly deserve. Number 1, selective contact. Have you ever noticed how some friends seem to drift in and out of your life, only resurfacing when they need something from you? This pattern of selective engagement can leave us feeling used and undervalued, as if our friendship is only valuable when it serves their needs. Investing time and energy into a friendship, only to feel neglected when our friends find fulfillment elsewhere, can be disheartening. The feeling of being taken advantage of can erode our self-esteem, leaving us feeling disconnected and disillusioned. Rebuilding trust after it's been broken becomes a daunting task. In moments like these, we can turn to the teachings of Stoicism for guidance. Stoicism encourages us to focus on what is within our control and to approach life with equanimity. Instead of allowing ourselves to be consumed by negative emotions, we can choose to respond with dignity and composure. When faced with selective contact, it's important to remember that we cannot control the actions of others, but we can control our reactions to them. Rather than allowing ourselves to feel resentful or hurt, we can choose to acknowledge the situation for what it is and respond with grace. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of maintaining inner peace and resilience in the face of adversity. By cultivating a sense of tranquility and acceptance, we can weather the storms of life with strength and grace. It's also essential to recognize that selective contact is often a reflection of the other person's insecurities or shortcomings. Rather than taking their actions personally, we can choose to see them with compassion and understanding. In the words of the Stoic philosopher Epictetus, we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. When confronted with selective contact, we can choose to respond with kindness and integrity, regardless of how others may behave. Ultimately, embracing the principles of Stoicism allows us to navigate the complexities of human relationships with wisdom and grace. Instead of allowing ourselves to be defined by the actions of others, we can anchor ourselves in our own values and principles. In conclusion, selective contact presents a challenge, but it also offers an opportunity for growth and self-discovery. By drawing upon the wisdom of Stoicism, we can learn to navigate such situations with resilience and grace. Rather than allowing ourselves to be swept away by the actions of others, we can choose to cultivate inner peace and strength. Number 2, one-sided conversations. Imagine finding yourself ensnared in a conversation where your contributions feel sidelined, drowned out by the relentless torrent of their own concerns and interests. It's akin to seeking your voice in a cacophony, where your thoughts and emotions are eclipsed by their dominant narrative. The frustration of not being heard or valued in a conversation can breed resentment and alienation. It undermines the fundamental reciprocity that underpins healthy communication, fostering a sense of isolation and disengagement. Over time, such one-sided interactions can erode the fabric of the relationship, leaving it hollow and unsatisfying. In the realm of human interaction, conversations serve as the cornerstone of connection, They are the channels through which we express ourselves, share our experiences, and forge bonds with others. Central to the success of any conversation is the mutual exchange of ideas and perspectives, a give and take that allows each participant to feel heard and understood. However, not all conversations unfold in this idealized manner. In some instances, one party may dominate the dialogue, monopolizing the discussion with their own agenda while neglecting the contributions of others. This phenomenon, commonly referred to as one-sided conversations, can occur for a variety of reasons, ranging from individual personality traits to underlying power dynamics within the relationship. One-sided conversations can manifest in various forms. In some cases, it may involve one individual monopolizing the conversation, incessantly talking about themselves without pausing to listen to others. Alternatively, it may take the form of dismissive behavior, where one person disregards or belittles the input of others, effectively silencing their voices. Regardless of its manifestation, the impact of one-sided conversation is profound. For the individual whose contributions are sidelined, it can evoke feelings of frustration, inadequacy, and resentment. They may struggle to assert themselves or communicate their thoughts effectively, leading to a sense of disempowerment and alienation. Moreover, one-sided conversations undermine the fundamental principles of effective communication. Healthy dialogue is characterized by reciprocity, where each participant feels valued and respected. When one party dominates the conversation at the expense of others, it disrupts this delicate balance, creating an imbalance of power and undermining the sense of mutual understanding. Over time, the cumulative effect of one-sided conversations can erode the fabric of the relationship. When one person consistently feels unheard or undervalued, it can strain the bond between them, leading to feelings of distance and disillusionment. In extreme cases, it may even contribute to the breakdown of the relationship altogether. From a Stoic perspective, navigating one-sided conversations requires a blend of resilience, self-awareness, and adaptability. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what is within our control and to approach life's challenges with equanimity. While we may not be able to control the behavior of others, we can control our own responses and attitudes towards the situation. When confronted with a one-sided conversation, it's essential to maintain a sense of inner calm and perspective. Rather than allowing ourselves to be consumed by frustration or resentment, we can choose to adopt a more detached, objective stance. By viewing the situation through a Stoic lens, we can recognize that the behavior of others is ultimately beyond our control, and that our own peace of mind is paramount. Moreover, Stoicism emphasizes the importance of cultivating resilience in the face of adversity. Rather than allowing ourselves to be disheartened by the imbalance of the conversation, we can choose to see it as an opportunity for growth and self-improvement. By developing the capacity to withstand discomfort and uncertainty, we can emerge from challenging situations with greater strength and wisdom. At the same time, Stoicism encourages us to practice empathy and compassion towards others, even in the face of their shortcomings. While it may be tempting to respond with anger or frustration, we can choose to extend understanding towards the individual who is monopolizing the conversation. Perhaps they are struggling with their own insecurities or uncertainties, and their behavior is merely a manifestation of their inner turmoil. In conclusion, one-sided conversations represent a common challenge in human interaction, one that can undermine the quality of our relationships and erode our sense of connection with others. By drawing upon the principles of Stoicism, we can navigate such situations with grace, resilience, and compassion. Rather than allowing ourselves to be consumed by frustration or resentment, we can choose to focus on what is within our control and cultivate inner peace amidst the chaos of human interaction. Number 3, inconsistent behavior. Ever find yourself navigating a maze, uncertain of the direction their actions will take. Their behavior resembles the ever-changing winds, shifting with the slightest whim, leaving you to navigate a path with no clear direction. Living amidst such unpredictability can be emotionally draining. It leaves you constantly on guard, bracing for the next sudden shift in attitude. This perpetual uncertainty fosters feelings of insecurity and unrest, eroding the trust and stability vital for a healthy relationship. In the absence of consistency, forging a profound bond becomes an uphill battle, hindered by the lack of predictability and reliability. From a Stoic standpoint, facing such inconsistency demands a tempered response. Stoicism teaches us to find strength in adversity, to maintain our composure amidst life's uncertainties. Instead of allowing ourselves to be consumed by anxiety, we can choose to adopt a more detached perspective. By recognizing that external events are beyond our control, we free ourselves from the burden of expectation, finding solace in the knowledge that our inner tranquility is not contingent upon external circumstances. Moreover, Stoicism urges us to focus on what is within our control, namely our own actions and attitudes. While we cannot dictate the behavior of others, we can choose how we respond to it. Rather than allowing ourselves to be destabilized by their inconsistency, we can strive to cultivate a sense of inner resilience, grounded in our own values and principles. In the face of such unpredictability, it's essential to maintain a sense of self-assurance and inner strength. Stoicism teaches us to anchor ourselves in our own sense of worth, independent of external validation. By recognizing our inherent value, we empower ourselves to navigate the turbulent waters of interpersonal dynamics with grace and equanimity. Furthermore, Stoicism emphasizes the importance of embracing change and impermanence as fundamental aspects of the human experience. Rather than resisting the ebb and flow of life, we can choose to embrace it, finding strength in our ability to adapt and evolve in the face of uncertainty. Ultimately, confronting inconsistent behavior requires a balanced approach, rooted in self-awareness and resilience. By drawing upon the principles of Stoicism, we can navigate the labyrinth of unpredictability with grace and fortitude, emerging stronger and more resilient in the process. Number 4, lack of reciprocity. In the tapestry of a harmonious relationship, reciprocity forms the very fabric of its existence. Yet, what if you find yourself continually extending gestures without receiving in kind? It's akin to casting pearls before a bottomless pit, an effort that depletes your reserves and diminishes your worth. The absence of reciprocity serves as fertile ground for resentment and disenchantment to take root. It breeds an unequal power dynamic, where one's offerings far outweigh the others, creating a palpable sense of imbalance and injustice. Without the mutual exchange of support and understanding, the relationship languishes, its foundation weakened by the weight of unmet expectations and unreciprocated gestures. From a Stoic vantage point, confronting this lack of reciprocity necessitates a measured response rooted in self-awareness and resilience. Stoicism teaches us to cultivate an inner fortress of self-worth, impervious to the fluctuations of external validation. Rather than seeking validation through external sources, we find solace in our own inherent value, independent of others' actions or inactions. Furthermore, Stoicism encourages us to embrace the principle of detachment, recognizing that our happiness is not contingent upon the actions of others. By relinquishing our attachment to external outcomes, we free ourselves from the burden of expectation, finding peace in the knowledge that our worth is not contingent upon the reciprocity of others. In the face of lack of reciprocity, it's essential to establish clear boundaries and assert our needs and desires with confidence. Stoicism teaches us the importance of advocating for ourselves and refusing to settle for relationships that fail to honor our worth. By setting boundaries and expressing our expectations openly and honestly, we empower ourselves to create relationships built on mutual respect and understanding. Ultimately, confronting lack of reciprocity requires courage and conviction. By drawing upon the principles of Stoicism, we can navigate the complexities of relationships with grace and dignity, emerging stronger and more self-assured in the process. Number 5, manipulative behavior. Do you ever find yourself coerced into actions that conflict with your own desires? Whether through subtle persuasion or the weight of guilt, their manipulative tactics can leave you feeling like a mere pawn in their strategic game. Manipulation, with its deceptive allure, corrodes the authenticity and integrity of relationships. It breeds an atmosphere of distrust and suspicion, casting doubt on the sincerity of every interaction. Communication becomes muddled, genuine intentions obscured by hidden agendas. As trust wanes, the bonds of affection fray, leaving behind a bitter residue of betrayal and resentment. From a Stoic perspective, confronting manipulative behavior requires steadfast resolve and unwavering self-awareness. Stoicism teaches us to remain steadfast in the face of external pressures, refusing to succumb to the whims of others. Rather than allowing ourselves to be swayed by manipulation, we can choose to anchor ourselves in our own principles and values, steadfast in our commitment to authenticity and integrity. Moreover, Stoicism emphasizes the importance of maintaining clear boundaries and asserting our autonomy in relationships. By establishing firm boundaries, we protect ourselves from manipulation and coercion, ensuring that our actions are guided by our own free will rather than external influence. In the face of manipulation, it's essential to cultivate a sense of inner strength and resilience. Stoicism teaches us to find solace in our own inner tranquility, unaffected by the turbulence of external circumstances. By grounding ourselves in our own sense of worth and self-assurance, we can resist the manipulative tactics of others with grace and dignity. Ultimately, confronting manipulative behavior demands courage and conviction. By drawing upon the principles of Stoicism, we can navigate the treacherous waters of manipulation with clarity and resolve, emerging stronger and more empowered in the process. Number 6, taking advantage of your skills. Do you often find yourself summoned to lend your expertise only to witness your skills exploited without so much as a nod of gratitude? It's akin to being relegated to a mere tool, stripped of recognition for your unique talents and capabilities. The exploitation of one's skills serves to diminish their value and erode their sense of self-worth. It reduces meaningful contributions to mere transactions, where worth is measured solely by utility. This transactional approach corrodes the fabric of mutual respect and appreciation that should underpin healthy relationships, leaving one feeling undervalued and taken for granted. From a Stoic standpoint, grappling with the exploitation of one's skills demands a steadfast commitment to self-respect and integrity. Stoicism teaches us to cultivate an inner fortitude that remains unshaken by external validation or exploitation. Rather than seeking validation through external accolades, we derive fulfillment from the knowledge that our worth is intrinsic and immutable. Moreover, Stoicism encourages us to set clear boundaries and assert our value with confidence. By refusing to acquiesce to exploitation and demanding acknowledgement for our contributions, we uphold the principles of dignity and respect. Stoicism reminds us that our worth is not contingent upon the recognition of others, but is inherent to our very being. In the face of exploitation, it's essential to confront the issue head-on and assertively communicate our boundaries. Stoicism teaches us to navigate such challenges with grace and dignity, refusing to compromise our integrity for the sake of external validation. By drawing upon the principles of Stoicism, we can confront exploitation with resilience and emerge stronger and more self-assured in the process. Number 7, gaslighting. Have you ever felt like your reality is being subtly manipulated, leaving you questioning your own sanity? Gaslighting, a form of psychological manipulation, can distort the truth and deny reality, leaving you feeling confused and vulnerable, unable to trust your own perceptions. Gaslighting chips away at your sense of reality and self-worth, fostering a pervasive sense of confusion and self-doubt. It establishes a power dynamic where your thoughts and feelings are dismissed or distorted, leaving you feeling powerless and vulnerable. Without a firm grip on reality, it becomes difficult to assert yourself and maintain healthy boundaries, creating fertile ground for further manipulation and emotional abuse. From a Stoic perspective, confronting gaslighting requires unwavering self-assurance and a commitment to truth. Stoicism teaches us to cultivate inner resilience and trust in our own judgment, despite attempts to undermine it. By grounding ourselves in Stoic principles, we can confront gaslighting with clarity and assertiveness, refusing to let others dictate our perception of reality. In addressing gaslighting, it's essential to trust our instincts and seek support from trusted confidants who validate our experiences. Stoicism reminds us that our worth and reality are not contingent upon others' validation, empowering us to assert our truth and protect our mental well-being. By embracing Stoic principles, we reclaim agency over our thoughts and emotions, refusing to be swayed by manipulative tactics. Number 8. Disregard for your well-being. Do you find that your feelings and welfare are routinely overlooked? Whether through unilateral decision-making or a lack of consideration for your emotional needs, their indifference can breed feelings of insignificance and neglect. The disregard for your well-being corrodes the bedrock of trust and stability within the relationship, leaving you feeling marginalized and unappreciated. It undermines the emotional bond and intimacy necessary for a fulfilling partnership, fostering a sense of isolation and detachment. Without mutual empathy and concern, the relationship devolves into a source of tension and discontent, rather than solace and understanding. From a Stoic perspective, grappling with disregard for one's well-being demands a steadfast commitment to self-care and assertiveness. Stoicism teaches us to prioritize our own emotional health and set clear boundaries to protect our well-being. Rather than passively accepting neglect, we draw strength from our inner resilience and refuse to compromise our self-worth. Moreover, Stoicism encourages us to cultivate open and honest communication in our relationships, fostering a deeper understanding of each other's needs and concerns. By articulating our feelings and asserting our boundaries with confidence, we assert our value and demand the respect we deserve. Stoicism reminds us that our well-being is non-negotiable and that we must advocate for ourselves to ensure our emotional needs are met. In confronting disregard for our well-being, it's essential to assert our boundaries firmly and advocate for our needs with conviction. Stoicism teaches us to navigate such challenges with grace and resilience, refusing to tolerate mistreatment or neglect. By drawing upon the principles of Stoicism, we can confront the issue head-on and emerge stronger and more self-assured in the process. Number 9. Flattery and charm. Have you ever been ensnared by honeyed words only to discern later their self-serving motives? Their charm, initially beguiling, can mask a deeper agenda aimed at manipulation and exploitation. Deceptive flattery is a subtle yet potent form of manipulation that can leave individuals feeling used and disillusioned. It involves showering praise and admiration with ulterior motives, exploiting the natural human desire for validation and approval. While initially captivating, deceptive flattery ultimately undermines trust and distorts perceptions of reality. The allure of flattery lies in its ability to tap into our innate need for validation and affirmation. When someone offers praise or admiration, our brains release feel-good neurotransmitters like dopamine, reinforcing the behavior that elicited the positive feedback. Manipulators exploit this neurological response by using flattery strategically to gain influence, control, or advantage. Victims of deceptive flattery often find themselves entranced by the charm and charisma of the manipulator, making it challenging to discern their true intentions. Initially, the flatterer may appear warm, attentive, and genuinely interested in the individual, creating a facade of trust and closeness. However, subtle cues and inconsistencies may begin to emerge over time, hinting at an underlying agenda. The consequences of falling victim to deceptive flattery can be profound, affecting one's sense of self-worth, trust in others, and overall well-being. Individuals may experience feelings of betrayal, disillusionment, and anxiety as the line between genuine praise and manipulation becomes blurred. From a psychological perspective, understanding the allure of flattery requires an examination of human nature and our inherent need for validation. Manipulators often target individuals with low self-esteem or unresolved emotional needs, knowing they are more susceptible to flattery and manipulation. By exploiting these vulnerabilities, manipulators can gain control and exert influence over their targets. Recognizing and resisting deceptive flattery requires a combination of self-awareness, critical thinking, and assertiveness. It involves learning to trust one's instincts, question motives, and set boundaries to protect against manipulation. Building self-esteem and cultivating a strong sense of self-worth are also crucial for resisting the allure of flattery and maintaining healthy relationships based on mutual respect and authenticity. Stoic philosophy offers valuable insights and techniques for navigating the pitfalls of deceptive flattery. Central to Stoicism is the concept of living in accordance with nature, which entails aligning actions and attitudes with reason and virtue. When confronted with deceptive flattery, Stoicism encourages individuals to rely on reason and critical thinking to discern truth from falsehood. Moreover, Stoicism emphasizes the importance of cultivating inner virtues such as courage, temperance, and wisdom. These virtues serve as guiding principles for navigating life's challenges with dignity and integrity. In the face of deceptive flattery, Stoicism calls individuals to cultivate inner strength and self-assurance, relying on innate worth and dignity rather than seeking validation from others. Practicing Stoic techniques such as negative visualization and voluntary discomfort can also help inoculate against the allure of flattery. By contemplating the transient nature of external praise and cultivating resilience in the face of adversity, individuals become less susceptible to manipulation and more resilient in the face of life's uncertainties. In conclusion, deceptive flattery poses a significant threat to well-being and integrity, undermining trust and distorting perceptions of reality. By understanding the dynamics of deceptive flattery and cultivating inner strength and resilience, individuals can resist manipulation and maintain healthy boundaries in relationships. Stoicism offers valuable insights and techniques for navigating the challenges of deceptive flattery, empowering individuals to live with dignity, integrity, and self-assurance. Number 10, unwillingness to compromise. Do you often find yourself yielding in the relationship with little consideration for your own aspirations? Their steadfast reluctance to negotiate can leave you feeling sidelined and insignificant, as though your desires carry little weight. The refusal to compromise perpetuates a power dynamic that erodes the foundation of equality and mutual respect, crucial for a thriving partnership. It breeds resentment and discontent, as one party's needs consistently overshadow the other's. Without a willingness to seek common ground, the relationship teeters on the brink of collapse, gradually eroding trust and intimacy. From a Stoic perspective, grappling with an unwillingness to compromise demands a steadfast commitment to self-respect and assertiveness. Stoicism teaches us to cultivate inner resilience and stand firm in our convictions, even in the face of opposition. Rather than yielding to external pressures, we derive strength from our unwavering adherence to principles of integrity and dignity. Moreover, Stoicism encourages us to seek clarity and understanding in our relationships, fostering open and honest communication. By articulating our needs and desires with confidence, we assert our worth and demand recognition for our contributions. Stoicism reminds us that compromise is not a sign of weakness, but a testament to our commitment to mutual respect and understanding. In confronting an unwillingness to compromise, it's essential to assert our boundaries firmly and advocate for our needs with confidence. Stoicism teaches us to navigate such challenges with grace and resilience, refusing to sacrifice our integrity for the sake of appeasing others. By drawing upon the principles of Stoicism, we can confront the issue head-on and emerge stronger and more self-assured in the process. Number 11, emotional manipulation. Have you ever found yourself ensnared in a web of emotional manipulation where your feelings are weaponized against you? Emotional manipulation, whether through guilt-tripping or exploiting insecurities, can leave you feeling trapped and disempowered, like a marionette controlled by unseen hands. Emotional manipulation preys on your vulnerabilities and insecurities, leaving you feeling helpless and vulnerable. It undermines your autonomy and self-worth, fostering a toxic dependency and a pervasive sense of inadequacy. Without a sturdy foundation of self-esteem and assertiveness, breaking free from their manipulative clutches becomes a daunting task, perpetuating a cycle of exploitation and emotional turmoil. From a Stoic perspective, confronting emotional manipulation requires a steadfast commitment to self-awareness and resilience. Stoicism teaches us to cultivate inner strength and autonomy, empowering us to recognize manipulative tactics and assert our boundaries. By grounding ourselves in Stoic principles, we can confront emotional manipulation with clarity and conviction, refusing to be manipulated by others' attempts to control our emotions. In navigating emotional manipulation, it's crucial to seek support from trusted allies who validate our experiences and provide a source of strength. Stoicism reminds us that our worth and emotional well-being are not contingent upon others' validation, empowering us to reclaim agency over our feelings and assert our boundaries firmly. By embracing Stoic virtues, we liberate ourselves from the shackles of manipulation, forging a path towards emotional autonomy and inner peace. Number 12, using you for resources. Do you ever feel like you're only noticed when someone needs something from you, whether it's money, transportation, or other resources? It's as if you're viewed solely as a tool for their convenience, rather than a cherished friend or partner. The instrumental use of resources diminishes your intrinsic value, relegating you to a mere asset to be exploited for their gain. It cultivates a transactional dynamic in the relationship, where your significance is determined solely by your utility. This erodes the foundation of mutual respect and affection, crucial for a meaningful partnership, leaving you feeling utilized and unacknowledged. From a Stoic standpoint, confronting this exploitation requires a firm commitment to self-worth and boundaries. Stoicism teaches us to recognize our inherent value as individuals, independent of others' perceptions or expectations. By embracing Stoic principles, we can assert our worth and refuse to be reduced to mere resources for others' convenience. In addressing exploitation, it's essential to establish clear boundaries and communicate our expectations openly. Stoicism reminds us that our well-being is paramount, and we have the agency to determine how we are treated in relationships. By embodying Stoic virtues, we reclaim autonomy over our resources and affirm our worth, fostering relationships grounded in genuine respect and reciprocity. Number 13, conditional affection. Does their affection seem to come with strings attached, only given when they want something from you? It's like being loved conditionally, where your worth is measured by what you can do for them rather than who you are as a person. Navigating a relationship where affection seems contingent upon meeting certain conditions can feel like traversing an uncertain terrain, devoid of stable ground to stand on. It's akin to being caught in a cycle of fluctuating emotions, where your worth is tied to your ability to fulfill their expectations. This conditional form of affection introduces a level of unpredictability and instability into the relationship, which goes against the Stoic principle of finding peace and stability within oneself. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of inner tranquility and self-sufficiency, qualities that are challenged in the face of conditional affection. Living with the uncertainty of whether your actions will meet their criteria for love and approval can be emotionally draining. It undermines your sense of self-worth, as you begin to question whether you are loved for who you are or merely valued for what you can provide. This constant need to prove your worth can lead to feelings of inadequacy and frustration as you strive to meet their ever-changing expectations. Stoicism teaches us to cultivate a sense of inner peace and acceptance, regardless of external circumstances. However, conditional affection disrupts this sense of inner harmony, leaving you feeling unsettled and anxious about the state of the relationship. It challenges your ability to maintain emotional equilibrium as you grapple with the uncertainty of whether your efforts will be enough to sustain their affection. Moreover, conditional affection fosters a transactional approach to relationships, where love becomes a commodity to be earned rather than freely given. This undermines the authenticity and sincerity of the connection, leading to feelings of resentment and disillusionment. Stoicism encourages us to cultivate a genuine and meaningful relationships based on mutual respect and understanding rather than on the fulfillment of specific conditions or expectations. In essence, conditional affection contradicts the Stoic values of inner tranquility and self-sufficiency, as it fosters a sense of dependence and insecurity. By striving to cultivate relationships grounded in mutual respect and authenticity, we can align ourselves more closely with the principles of Stoicism and find greater fulfillment and contentment in our interactions with others. Number 14, ignoring personal limits. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where your personal limits are consistently disregarded or overridden? It's akin to trying to navigate through a maze without a map, a disorienting experience that leaves you feeling vulnerable and unsupported. The failure to acknowledge your personal limits undermines your sense of security and autonomy within the relationship, leaving you feeling exposed and neglected. It breeds resentment and mistrust, as your needs and boundaries are repeatedly dismissed. Without a foundation of mutual understanding and respect for your limits, the relationship becomes fraught with tension and conflict, further eroding trust and intimacy. From a Stoic standpoint, addressing the issue of disregarded limits requires a steadfast commitment to self-awareness and assertiveness. Stoicism teaches us to recognize and honor our personal boundaries as essential elements of our well-being and dignity. By embracing Stoic principles, we can assert our limits confidently and address boundary violations with clarity and determination. In confronting instances of ignored personal limits, it's essential to communicate openly and assertively, emphasizing the importance of mutual respect and autonomy. Stoicism reminds us that we have the power to define and defend our boundaries, fostering relationships built on mutual understanding and consideration. By embodying Stoic virtues, we reclaim control over our personal limits and nurture relationships grounded in harmony and mutual regard. Number 15, isolating you. Do they try to isolate you from your friends and family, making you more dependent on them for companionship and support? It's like being cut off from your support system, leaving you feeling isolated and alone in the world. Finding yourself increasingly distanced from friends and family at the behest of your partner can feel like navigating a barren landscape, devoid of familiar landmarks and support structures. It's akin to being marooned on an emotional island, where your connections to the outside world are severed, leaving you feeling adrift and vulnerable. Isolation undermines the Stoic principle of interconnectedness and community, which emphasizes the importance of maintaining strong bonds with others. Stoicism teaches us that we are social beings by nature, and that our relationships with others play a vital role in our well-being and personal growth. Being cut off from your support network can have profound implications for your sense of autonomy and independence. It fosters a sense of dependency and vulnerability as you become increasingly reliant on your partner for companionship and support. This erosion of self-reliance goes against the Stoic value of self-sufficiency, which encourages us to cultivate inner strength and resilience, independent of external circumstances. Moreover, isolation can exacerbate feelings of loneliness and alienation, compounding the emotional toll of the situation. It undermines your ability to maintain healthy boundaries and assert yourself in the relationship as you become increasingly enmeshed in your partner's world. Stoicism teaches us to find strength and solace within ourselves, even in the face of adversity. However, isolation disrupts this sense of inner peace and stability, leaving you feeling disconnected and vulnerable. It challenges your ability to maintain the emotional equilibrium as you grapple with the overwhelming sense of loneliness and isolation. In essence, isolation contradicts the Stoic values of interconnectedness and self-sufficiency, as it fosters a sense of dependency and vulnerability. By striving to maintain strong bonds with friends and family and cultivating inner resilience, we can align ourselves more closely with the principles of Stoicism and find greater fulfillment and contentment in our relationships. Number 16. Making you feel obligated. Do you find yourself entangled in a web of guilt and obligation, constantly pressured to fulfill their demands regardless of your own needs or boundaries? It's akin to being shackled to a burden of emotional debt, unable to break free without facing the weight of their disappointment and disapproval. Emotional obligation undermines your sense of autonomy and agency within the relationship, leaving you feeling trapped and powerless. It fosters a pervasive sense of resentment and frustration as your own needs and desires are consistently sidelined in favor of theirs. Without the freedom to assert your boundaries and priorities, the relationship becomes suffocating and oppressive, exacerbating feelings of resentment and dissatisfaction. Such manipulative behavior contradicts the principles of Stoicism, which advocate for individual autonomy and self-mastery. Stoicism teaches us to cultivate inner strength and resilience, empowering us to assert our boundaries and prioritize our well-being, even in the face of external pressure. Furthermore, emotional obligation can erode the foundation of trust and mutual respect within the relationship. When one partner feels coerced or guilt-tripped into compliance, genuine intimacy and connection are replaced by a sense of duty and obligation. This dynamic undermines the authenticity and sincerity of the relationship, leading to further discord and resentment. In essence, emotional obligation is a manipulative tactic used by certain individuals to exert control and dominance over their partners. By leveraging guilt and obligation, they manipulate their partner's emotions to serve their own needs and desires, regardless of the impact on the relationship. This undermines the principles of reciprocity and mutual respect, essential for a healthy partnership, perpetuating a cycle of manipulation and emotional abuse. Recognizing and addressing emotional obligation requires courage and assertiveness. Stoicism provides a framework for cultivating inner strength and resilience, empowering individuals to assert their boundaries and prioritize their well-being. By fostering a sense of self-worth and autonomy, individuals can break free from the chains of emotional obligation and cultivate healthier, more fulfilling relationships based on mutual respect and genuine affection. Number 17, ignoring your needs. Have you noticed a pattern where they consistently prioritize their own needs and desires, often at the expense of yours. It's akin to feeling like a secondary character in your own life story, where your wants and needs are routinely overshadowed by theirs. Self-centered behavior undermines the foundation of mutual respect and reciprocity in the relationship, leaving you feeling undervalued and marginalized. It fosters a sense of resentment and frustration as your needs are consistently deprioritized in favor of theirs. Without a mutual consideration for each other's well-being, the relationship becomes imbalanced and unsatisfying, leading to further feelings of isolation and discontent. This type of behavior is antithetical to the principles of Stoicism, which emphasize the importance of considering others' needs and maintaining a sense of fairness and justice in our interactions. Stoicism teaches us to cultivate empathy and compassion, fostering deeper connections with those around us based on mutual respect and understanding. Furthermore, self-centered behavior erodes the foundation of trust and intimacy in the relationship. When one partner consistently prioritizes their own needs over the others, it creates a power imbalance that undermines the sense of equality and reciprocity essential for a healthy partnership. This imbalance can lead to feelings of resentment and dissatisfaction, ultimately eroding the emotional connection between partners. Recognizing and addressing self-centered behavior requires open communication and a willingness to prioritize each other's needs. By fostering a sense of empathy and understanding, partners can cultivate a more balanced and fulfilling relationship based on mutual respect and consideration. Through practicing the principles of Stoicism, individuals can cultivate a deeper sense of empathy and compassion, fostering healthier and more fulfilling relationships built on mutual respect and reciprocity. Number 18. Taking credit for your accomplishments. Have you ever had your achievements or ideas stolen by someone else, leaving you feeling robbed of recognition and validation? It's like watching someone else bask in the spotlight of your hard work, with little to no acknowledgement of your contributions. Taking credit for your accomplishments is akin to having your hard work and dedication overshadowed by someone else's false claims. It's like watching your efforts being paraded as someone else's success, leaving you feeling robbed of recognition and appreciation. This act of plagiarism undermines the very essence of your achievements, eroding your sense of pride and self-worth. It fosters feelings of frustration and resentment as your contributions are diminished and falsely attributed to another. Without proper acknowledgement and validation, the relationship becomes a breeding ground for mistrust and betrayal, further deepening the sense of disillusionment and dissatisfaction. In Stoic philosophy, the concept of justice holds significant importance. Justice dictates that individuals receive recognition and reward for their efforts and contributions, ensuring that credit is given where it is due. By plagiarizing your accomplishments, the other party violates this principle of justice, perpetuating an unjust and unfair dynamic within the relationship. Moreover, this behavior highlights a lack of integrity and honesty on the part of the individual taking credit for your work. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of living in accordance with virtue, which includes honesty and fairness in our interactions with others. By falsely claiming credit for your accomplishments, they demonstrate a disregard for these fundamental principles, further undermining the trust and integrity of the relationship. Addressing this issue requires open communication and a firm stance on upholding principles of justice and integrity. By asserting your rights to recognition and acknowledgement, you can confront this behavior and work towards restoring a sense of fairness and respect in the relationship. Through practicing Stoic virtues such as honesty and justice, individuals can cultivate healthier and more authentic relationships built on mutual respect and integrity. Number 19, lack of respect. Respect forms the bedrock of any thriving relationship, yet what happens when respect is conspicuously absent? It's akin to standing on shifting sands, where your value is consistently overlooked and undermined. Disregarding respect erodes your sense of dignity and self-esteem, leaving you feeling devalued and insignificant. It cultivates resentment and frustration as your boundaries and opinions are persistently disregarded. Without mutual respect and consideration, the relationship descends into toxicity and degradation, exacerbating feelings of frustration and resentment. From a Stoic perspective, addressing disrespect entails upholding your inherent worth and asserting your boundaries with unwavering resolve. Stoicism teaches us to cultivate self-respect and dignity, advocating for our needs and boundaries with clarity and strength. By embracing Stoic principles, we can navigate relationship dynamics with resilience and integrity, fostering connections founded on mutual respect and understanding. In addressing issues of disrespect, it's imperative to communicate assertively and uphold the importance of mutual consideration. Stoicism reminds us of our capacity to cultivate relationships that honor our worth and uphold our dignity. By embodying Stoic virtues such as courage and wisdom, we can navigate the complexities of relationships with grace and integrity, fostering connections that enrich our lives and honor our humanity. Number 20, disappearing act. Have you ever experienced the unsettling pattern of someone only being present in your life when they require something from you, disappearing once their needs are fulfilled? It's akin to being utilized for their convenience, with your significance reduced to mere utility. The disappearing act corrodes your sense of value and importance within the relationship, leaving you feeling disposable and inconsequential. It nurtures feelings of betrayal and abandonment, as your needs and aspirations are consistently sidelined. Without authentic care and empathy, the relationship devolves into a transactional arrangement, breeding deeper sentiments of isolation and bitterness. From a Stoic viewpoint, confronting this behavior necessitates embracing self-worth and setting firm boundaries. Stoicism teaches us to cultivate inner strength and resilience, advocating for our worth and asserting our boundaries with clarity and determination. By embodying Stoic principles, we can navigate such relational dynamics with fortitude and integrity, fostering connections grounded in genuine care and mutual respect. In addressing the issue of disappearing acts, it's essential to communicate assertively and uphold the value of mutual consideration. Stoicism reminds us of our capacity to cultivate relationships that honor our dignity and prioritize our well-being. By embodying Stoic virtues such as courage and wisdom, we can navigate relational complexities with grace and self-assurance, fostering connections that nurture rather than exploit. As we come to the end of our exploration, remember that understanding the signs of someone using you is just the first step. Armed with this knowledge, you're better equipped to navigate the complexities of relationships and protect yourself from those who might take advantage of your kindness. But it's not just about defense. It's also about building relationships that enrich your life. Seek out connections built on mutual respect, trust, and genuine care. Surround yourself with people who uplift and support you, who value you for who you are. By prioritizing healthy boundaries and self-respect, you can create a life filled with meaningful connections and authentic relationships. So, as you continue on your journey, may you find the courage to embrace the connections that truly nourish your soul. This video may have touched a nerve. Don't forget to show your support by liking, subscribing, and turning on notifications. Your engagement fuels our mission to create content that resonates with your journey towards self-improvement and understanding relationships. Remember, knowledge is power, but it's only impactful when shared and applied. Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Let's cultivate a community where we can all learn from one another's experiences. Stay stoic, stay aware, and keep striving for a better you.